I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that you owe it to your market to aggressively market your products, your services, your speaking, your message, your books, or whatever it is that you offer in the world. You owe it to them. I want you to think about that for a second. Most marketers pull themselves back. Most marketers are the reason why they're not out there in the world, because in so many ways we pull ourselves back, but you owe it to your market to aggressively market your product. And why? Because if you don't, someone else will. And that other person, there's no question about the fact that they're going to serve your market less than you will. Today on EdTalks Live, we're going to talk about ways that you can get your market to say yes. EdTalks Live is next. Hey there, welcome to the show. My name is Ed Rush, former F-18 fighter pilot, 5-time #1 best-selling author, your host for the most positive place on the planet for insanely implementable ideas. Today, we're in the middle of what's going to end up probably being a 2 or 3-part series. Today's Copywriting 401 Part 2, how to grab your prospects by the eyeballs so they say yes. And I'll just tell you that I've been doing this since 2006, and I've learned a lot along the way. I've changed a lot along the way, and so has the market. So what I'm going to be showing to you today is what's working now, not what's working last week, not what was working last year, because the market's changed quite a bit. In fact, if you remember yesterday, my interview with Jay Cron, we talked about how the market is craving authenticity. Everybody's seen fake everything, and now people want to look at you and know, are you real? And so there are ways in your communication that you can get that across. And by the way, if you haven't already done so, jump in on the right-hand side on YouTube. Say hello, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, that's right below you. I'm going to jump into chat in just a second, but I'm going to give a reward to all of you early risers who jumped on the show early today. I'm going to tell you about something amazing that just happened at the Rush House this morning, man. It was like I got up, had my cup of coffee, and amazing just landed. And I'll lead in by saying that we have a flock of chickens in our backyard. We've had them for about 8 years now. I built this ridiculously huge chicken coop, one of my very first construction projects. I didn't even know, I should tell you the story. When I built that chicken coop, I didn't really understand basic construction principles. I mean, I was just learning, but it was really my first project. And so there is a way to square corners, especially on big things. I built an 8x8 frame. It went up about 10 feet in the air. I built a 12x8 run for these chickens. That went up about 6-7 feet in the air, fully caged in and everything. Well, there's a principle. If you're in construction, there's a principle. There's a right angle principle, and it's 3, 4, 5. So if you have one leg that's 3 feet, the other leg that's 4 feet, and your hypotenuse, the angle, is 5 feet, you're gonna have a 90-degree angle every time. Well, I was using this little plastic square to try to square up the foundation of my building, of my chicken coop. And when I first built this, I might have had a degree off on the base. And I'll tell you, when you have an 8x8 base, a degree off isn't that big of a deal when it comes to the base. But let me just tell you this. When you build a chicken coop that's about 10 feet high, 9, 10 feet high, or however high that thing is, by the time you get to the top, that 1 degree angular difference between 90 degrees and 89 degrees makes a significant difference. If you looked at the roof of my chicken coop, you would see the roof kind of angled a little bit. It's like tilted. The front of the roof actually hangs out farther than the back of the roof. That's because that 1 degree difference. Well, I wasn't even planning on making a marketing point to this, but I'll tell you that when it comes to building your business, those 1 or 2 degrees mean a lot, especially in the beginning. The foundation on which you grow your business is important. And when you're looking to grow a business, the first foundation is your market, considering who is my market, where are they, and what do they want? And the second thing right behind that is your message. Today we're going to be talking about your message. Now, what happened in the Rush household today is amazing. So every year or two, we get a group of fertilized eggs so that we can increase the population of our flock and get more eggs and have more chickens for my kids to run around and chase. So this 21 days ago, we went out and got 12 fertilized eggs. And if you're familiar with chickens, you wait until the chickens are what are called broody. In other words, some of the chickens actually think that they're going to hatch eggs, and you put the eggs right underneath the broody chicks. We have 2 broody chickens in the backyard. We put those eggs under there, and like clockwork, it's amazing, man. Like clockwork, 21 days later, chicks start hatching out of eggs. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this before. I didn't. They were hatched. The ones I'm going to show you had hatched by the time they came out. If you've never seen a chick hatch out of an egg, it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. I mean, the genetic. I told my wife this morning. I said, "Do you know how difficult it would be? Impossible for humans to be able to create something like that. The genetic coding that's involved with this chick growing inside of this egg and then all of a sudden hatching out." So I'm going to show you a video of one of these little babies. No name. It's got even no name. I'm going to show you this video really quickly. Check this out. This was so cool, and you can hear my my son talking about it here. Watch this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Mama. She's like, I know what to do. Oh my gosh. I love how they look at them.
Come on, man. If you didn't get goosebumps, your goosebumper is broken. All right, so congratulations to, that's Butterscotch. That's the mom, by the way. Congratulations, Butterscotch. All right, I'm going to say hello to some of you in chat. What's up, Barry? Barry jumped on early today. Wendell Bugs, welcome to the show. Dennis Bauer, as usual. Good to have you in the house, my man. Jim Butts from Carlsbad, California. What's up, Gina? We're going to have some good times today. Hello, Anita. Thank you for your prayers. Always, always needed and appreciated. I know we've got, I can't believe it. Our garden, Diana, we have stacks and stacks and stacks of blackberries coming out right now. It's amazing. We got sauces and jams and everything. And when I say we, I mean my wife's taking care of that. Pug love. Thank you, Diana. This is very nice of you. Hey, Dr. Ed, good to see you as well. Chris Gordon. You introduce your friend to this video, and you tell him I don't have it. My pug passed away a couple years ago, but still in my heart, you know. Good to see you, Salit. Hello, Mike. Yeah, that's a good point. 1 degree of difference. Well, actually, the landing gear on the F-18, I'll tell you, man, if you land a little cattywampus, man, that landing gear will make it work. Thank you, Michael Fortin. I'm going to be talking about copywriting today. Michael Fortin is one of the best copywriters in the world. In fact, you'll see some of his work on the page that I'm going to be sharing with you in just a second. All right, so I'm going to jump up to the whiteboard and start teaching today. Now, full disclosure for today, we're going to go just a little bit short today. So today's the shows normally last typically about an hour. Sometimes we go a little bit longer if we're having a deeper conversation. But today, you can see the website right below you. edrush.com/pivot is the website. If you haven't had a chance to look at this page right here, actually, I might use this page as one of my example pages. This is my webinar landing page for a show that we're doing today. So you can see today's June 11th. If you're watching this live, if you're watching this on video, well, this is when we recorded it. And today at 11 o'clock Pacific time, we're going to do a Zoom webinar. So here's the dealio. We're going to jump off today at about 15 minutes or so before the hour, and then just come on over to the Zoom meeting. And I'm going to be teaching there for about another hour, but I'm going to be showing you what I consider the biggest opportunity in the world right now. And the window of opportunity you have is about 3 to 6 months. I'm going to show you how to take advantage of getting your message, your story, your experience, your product, or your service into the marketplace as quickly as possible so that you can get paid what you're worth. One of the fastest ways to change the world, frankly, is for you to make and keep money, okay? The world needs your message, no question about that. The world needs your product. Yeah, that's totally true. But the world also needs you to be the kind of person who's not chasing the bills all the time, but has the resources to be able to do the work that you want to and the freedom to be able to do that as well. Okay, so that's going to be a little bit later today. I'm going to jump up to the screen. Before I do that, let me show you the quick bumper for Big Pivot, and then we're going to talk about copyright. All right, so today I'm going to move fairly quickly. I'm going to walk through the components necessary in a marketing message. If you remember, the other day I talked to you about the customer journey, the experience that someone walks through when they work for you and or come to you. Remember I said they're traffic, and then they become a lead, and then eventually they become a customer and a lifetime customer, and finally a person who refers to you or reviews into your business. I call that my six-pack: traffic, leads, customers, lifetime customers, referrals, and reviews. But today we're going to talk about the components that go into a great marketing message. Now, I'm going to give you a checklist, okay? But have no fear, because when you come to Big Pivot, which is 2 weeks away, by the way, we start 2 weeks from today. In fact, it's noon Central Time right now. So 2 weeks from today, we're getting ready to be taking our lunch break, all right, in Dallas. And if you're not registered, bigpivotevent.com is the website. I'm going to give you plenty of chances to get registered, okay? And by the way, today, the first 5 people who enroll today are going to get a $100 discount. So if you want ask in chat, and my team member Delisa will give you that coupon code ahead of time. Okay, inside of Big Pivot, I'm going to be taking you through a exercise called the Offer Creation Toolkit. These are 10 questions that you're going to ask and answer about your market. By the time you're done, you're going to have a sales letter written, okay? It's going to create the sales letter for you. And my approach is really simple. I like to create new tools, and I like to create exercises that when you fill the exercises in, they give you the answer to the question. Because the truth is, you don't actually need to learn copywriting. You need to understand what your market wants. Did you catch what I just said right there? It all starts with an understanding of what your market wants. Everything revolves around your customer. And again, when I said this back on Tuesday, the biggest mistake that people make, in my opinion, I think it was Monday, the biggest mistake that people make, in my opinion, when they're connecting with their market is it sounds like this: me, I, me, we, I, me. And by the time you get to like the third or fourth I, me, we, somebody's off to another page, okay? So the marketing message, I told you, remember on Tuesday, I said your marketing message always starts with the word you. You're always connecting directly to your market. So for example, when I started today's show, you'll remember that I started by saying that you have a message that if you don't get your message out there, you're going to be doing your market a great disservice, and you need to aggressively market your message or get your message out there as aggressively as possible. That first minute of the entire show was you, because fundamentally this show is about you. Now, you remember also I told a story in the very beginning of the show about the chicks that were born at the Rush household. That story somehow, I wasn't planning on this, by the way, but I did it, somehow translated that into a discussion about you too, right? Building a foundation about your business. And so you as a marketer need to be set, okay, on communicating directly to your market. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list of the components that go into a perfect offer. This is what you need. This is my copywriting checklist, okay? So when I sit down to work on copy, this is the checklist that I go through to create the copy. The final thing is in the checklist. The Offer Creation Toolkit is the checklist, but I'm gonna show you what the output is, what you end up with. And if you're missing a component of this, you're missing something in your marketing message. Now, this list that I'm about to write up on the board right here, this list is not exhaustive in the sense, or it's not necessary in every message, but it's typically necessary in most, and in almost every case is necessary when you're asking someone for money. And I'll get to what that means in just a second. Okay, so let's start with the components of a well-written copywriting piece. And just so you know, you can be agnostic about this. We could be talking about a sales letter. I'm going to show you an example of a sales letter in just a second, and I'm going to walk through the components of a sales letter so that you can see what's on there, so that you can see how I'm following the components of this. In a moment, I'm going to show you a video. When you watch this video, it's about 3.5 minutes long. I'm going to show you how this video actually acts as a headline to the sales letter. Okay, I'll explain this all in just a second. Okay, so the first part of a well-written piece of copy that compels your prospects is a headline. The headline is what great advertisers call the ad before the ad. It's the thing that gets people to read the rest of the letter, okay? When it comes to a headline, you do a whole show on this. Don't get clever. People should understand when you write the headline, people should understand, okay, this is exactly what this is about. Let me give you an example. I showed you this page a little bit earlier. I'll pull it up real quick again. The headline for this webinar page, okay? See the headline? It says the 2020 crisis has created a massive opportunity that occurs only once every 80 years. Give me 45 minutes this week and I'll show you how to exploit it for maximum gain. Okay, that is the headline. The headline in this particular case is designed to get someone to register for a webinar. Now, the second part of a great marketing message is a subheadline. More times than not, the subheadline tends to be a second best headline or a further encouragement for the person to follow into the rest of the marketing message. Now, the subheadline will typically appear after the headline in a piece of sales copy, or the subheadline also can appear multiple times in other ways throughout the rest of your copy. And you'll see when I show you the sales letter that throughout the copy, every once in a while, you'll see like another little headline that kind of pops up in this marketing message. Sometimes those are designed to grab people back into, sometimes people start scrolling through your sales letter. Those are designed to pull people back into your sales message, okay? So I'm talking about a written letter, but just so you know, this works for you if you're on a Zoom meeting. This works for you if you're on a webinar. This works for you if you're communicating from the stage. This will work for you if you're writing a book, okay? The fundamentals of the copy work in every example. So how would I potentially be using, for example, a sub-headline if I'm speaking on YouTube Live like I am right now? Well, the headline to the show was, you deserve to get your marketing message out there and you need to market it aggressively so that no one else will take advantage, anyone else that someone goes to will be disserving your market, and you need to get out there in front of your market. But like partway through the show, I might do something like this. By the way, if you just joined us, my name is Ed Rush. This is Copywriting 401. We're talking about how to grab your prospects by their eyeballs so they say yes. And we're walking through the components of copy that you can use right now to plug and play so that you can get more leads, more customers, and more lifetime customers to build your business and your brand so that you can share your message and change the world. So what you just heard from me right there were about 4 or 5 benefits, boom, 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 boom. And essentially in the middle of this YouTube video or YouTube live training, that is a sub-headline in the middle of the training, okay? Now, the next piece of, I've got, and this goes on. I think there's like 11 or 12. I'm gonna have to use the right part of this board. All right, the next part will be your introduction. Typically, this is the beginning of your sales letter, your beginning of your sales message, and the reason why you're gonna bring people in. Again, I'm gonna show you this on a live letter. And then typically, this is a great place for a story. So typically in a sales message, whether it's spoken or on Zoom, you'll see it today. By the way, if you're not registered, go register right now. It's edrush.com. This is the page you're gonna go to right there. Okay, it's edrush.com/pivot. When you go there, when you join me in like 40 minutes for this Zoom training, you're gonna see right in the beginning, I'm gonna tell people why they're there, okay? What the benefits are for them to be listening, for you to be listening. I'm gonna give a short little introduction and then I'm gonna tell a story. Today, the story that I'm gonna tell is about how I almost lost an airplane 1,000 miles away from Hawaii, okay, out over the Pacific Ocean. And I'm gonna use that to leverage into a discussion of what's happening in the world and what's happening in people's businesses, okay? Now, the next part is, simply put, the single most important part of your sales message, which are the benefits. Oftentimes, these are put in the form of a bullet, like bullet number 1, bullet number 2, bullet number 3. These are the benefits that someone's gonna get from working with you or your product or your service, okay? These benefits right here are so important that most of the copywriters that I know, when they sit down to write, typically they will write a series of benefit statements first. So like when I sit down to write a sales letter or maybe something for a webinar, I will typically write a series, maybe 15, 20, 25 benefit bullets about some of the things that someone's gonna learn or receive, and then I'll start writing everything else around that. Again, take a look at this little webinar registration page. You can see this part right here. I know it's hard to see on the small screen, but see where it says, on this Zoom session, you will learn how to pivot your business to take advantage of the worldwide revolution, including actionable strategies you can and must implement now. how to take advantage of a rare window of opportunity to turn your business around and even do better than before the lockdown. What reinventing your business to purpose means, and how to quickly execute this simple pivot to create more fulfillment and fun in your business. Again, those are actual just benefit bullets. They're just benefits to the person who's reading, and typically, like I said, I will do those first, okay? Number 6 is the delivery mechanism or the delivery vehicle. More times than not, you'll just say, like, I'll show you the website in a second, but it'll say, the event is streamed live, or it's a live event that's also streamed, so you can attend live or you can come digitally. All right, that's an example of a delivery method. And the truth is, it doesn't matter. What matters is right here. What matters is the transformation, not necessarily how someone is going to be working with you, but you do need to tell them that. Okay, number 7 are the bonuses. I spoke, if you remember back in Ultimate Speaker, if you were attending Ultimate Speaker, remember I talked about how there's no rule, FTC rule, as to what's a bonus and what's not a bonus. Let me show you, for example, here's Big Pivot page. I'm going to walk through this page in a lot more detail, by the way, but you can see when you scroll down to the bottom, here are some of the bonuses. The bonuses that they get some exercises and tools. They get the chance to get one-on-one coaching and feedback, especially if you're at the live event. Meet and get to know some of the smartest entrepreneurs on the planet. Plus, you get a journal that I'm going to send to you in the mail and a couple extra things as well. Again, those are an example of just some bonuses. Those are typically things that I want to highlight or talk more about. All right. Number 8, I'll put it up here. How about this? Number 8 is a guarantee. Not required, but pretty close to being required, especially when it comes to product or events. Not normally coaching, consulting, you don't normally, but everything else you typically do. Online products, and I'll tell you, typically the stronger the guarantee you have, the better your sales message is going to do. It's just simple risk reversal. Remember yesterday with my interview with Jay Cron, he said, you know, people have been, I said this actually, I said people have been burned. We were talking about authenticity. I said people have been burned. I get emails from people all the time that say, man, I've taken these courses before and I've been burned. And I just want to make sure. And I said, look, that's the reason I have a guarantee. If it's not a good fit for you, send everything back and we can still be friends. Okay. And that risk reversal typically is enough to get people over the hump, because now the risk is on you as a marketer. Okay. A lot of marketers I talk to get nervous about returns. I'll tell you, I don't ever see anything more than about a 5% return rate, even if that. It's usually very, very low. And the truth is, the reason why is because when people get in, I over deliver, right? And so that's part of your methodology too, I hope. Okay, then there's price, and I have a question for you. This is a quiz question I want you to answer in chat. When you discuss price, for those of you who are Ultimate Speaker grads, there's something that always has to come with price. Always, 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 always has to come with price. There's something that comes right after it. You can never not do it. You have to do it every time. Always, 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 always. Okay, so I'm going to jump into chat and see who's going to answer this. Who's going to answer this one first? Okay, there's something that goes with price. Always, always, always. And I'm going to wait, by the way. You're going to answer this because you remember I taught this last week if you were at Ultimate Speaker. There's something that comes behind price. Now, by the way, as I'm mentioning the price, let me just tell you, don't get cute about the price. Don't get clever about the price. My typical approach when it comes to pricing things is I have a single pay and I have a 2 or a 3 pay, for example. Big Pivot's got a 3 pay. The 3 pay typically is a little bit more expensive. It actually works the other way. The 3 pay is what the price is, but then people get a little bit of a discount when they do the 1 pay option, ending in 7 basically every single time. So if my prices are, thank you, Gissy, bam. All right, so actually you were second. But you know what? You were probably first because he had to type all those dots in between. Gina was actually first, which is price justification. All right, so anytime you mention the price, you always have to justify the price. Now, this is not an option. This is not, what am I doing with this pen? Green pen doesn't want to play today? Fine. Blue pen's back in action. Coming out of the bullpen, blue pen. All right, anytime you do one of those things, you have to do the other thing, and here's why. You need to explain why this is such a no-brainer. Let me give you an example. Today I'm going to talk about Big Pivot. Big Pivot, the price for Big Pivot is $9.97. There's a 3-pay of like $3.57, something like that. Okay, so it's basically $1,000. I'm going to be teaching people how to take advantage of the new changes online and offline. So theoretically, if all you did was create an online product, which I'm going to teach you how to do at this event, by the way, use social media to market that online product, which I'm going to teach you to do at this event too, and you generate 100 new leads, and of that 100 new leads, 2 people buy your $500 product, you just got $1,000 and you just paid for your entire enrollment, and all it was 2 people that bought it. Or let's say theoretically all you did was you got a new client, which I'm going to teach you how to do, for $2,000, and that new client came to you, paid you $2,000, and you paid $1,000 for Big Pivot. Now you got a 2-to-1 return. Or let's say what you did is just simply went online using some of the social media strategies that I'm going to be teaching, and you took out the offer creation toolkit, which I'm going to take you through. You checked the boxes on this, you filled it in, you created a marketing message that was so compelling that over 1,000 people came to your website and opted in. And then instead of doing an offer yourself, you did an affiliate offer. You promoted someone else's course that was $500, and they sold 5 of those. That's $2,500. You get half, that's $1,200, and now you're in the positive again. See, the point is, when you come to an event like this, there's no way you're not going to get your money back. And if you don't, that's why I have a guarantee you get a refund. Okay, so there's an example of price justification. Again, come to the webinar today, and you'll see how to do that. Right. So show the value of the benefit being greater than the investment. Bruce, you type like I do. I tell them I type like a chicken on amphetamines. When I get a first draft of my book, it looks like that. All right. So back to the rest of these, and then again, I'm going to jump into the sales letter, and then we're going to bounce off the show. And by the way, tomorrow. Some of you just joined us, by the way. So if you just joined us, my name is Ed Rush. This is Copywriting 401 Part 2, how to grab your prospects by the eyeballs so they say yes tomorrow. By the way, it's the Ask Me Anything show. We haven't done one of these for a while, so this is an opportunity for you to jump on and ask any question about anything you want, life, business, politics, health, fitness, dieting. Some of those better than others. I'm better than others at, all right? So the last 3, again, I'm going to jump into the sales letter, and we're going to talk more about this. I'm giving you these as a list, and then we're going to get into more detail on another show next week. Number 11 is called a CTA. Somebody in chat tell me what a CTA is. Come on, you can do this. A CTA. Number 12, usually I have extra bonuses. Today I'm going to have an extra few bonuses for people who register to come and show up at the live event. And then finally, a final CTA. What's a CTA? Anybody want to tell me what that is? There's a little bit of a delay on chat, but let me pull up on YouTube because it shows up here faster. Bonuses? There he is, right there. Barry. Michael Fortin. So my system lags a little bit, so I'm going to show you your answers, but it was call to action. Barry was first, then Jim Butts was second, Bruce, Gina, Ron, and Rick, and then in the middle of that, Michael Fortin said, cool, terrific, ace. I wish I was the ace. Maybe I'm the other 2. Here are the right answers, by the way. Barry, Jim, Bruce, Gina, Ron, who types like me too. I just mess with you guys. All right, so these are the components to a great sales message. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to jump into what you see on the screen, or what you're about to see on the screen, is the website for this upcoming event, and I'm going to show you the components of this website and how it works following the checklist that I just provided. Okay, and I think this is one of the better copywriting jobs that I've done. But before I do that, I want to show you. I'm going to show you. This video is maybe 3 to 4 minutes long. I want to show you this video. There are some components of this video that we need to talk about because they're going to help you in your. I have to share a different screen to do this. They're going to help you when it comes to copy, and I'm going to break this down after the video, but I want to show it to you first. Okay, so I'm going to play this video, and then I'm going to come back to the center camera, and then we can talk through the sales letter. All right, so let's watch this.
What I can tell you with 100% certainty is that what we've seen over the last 3 to 4 months was as predictable as though you could set your watch by it. Now, I know that sounds like a crazy proposition, but if you read the page below and take the time to read it, you will see how the last 4 months could have been predicted 80 years ago. The trajectory of the world, in fact, the trajectory of everything in the world was leading to this moment. And while that may sound hard, and while there may be division, and while it may be difficult, I can also tell you that as a business owner or an entrepreneur, the world finally woke up. And they're finally ready to hear from you. They're ready to hear about your story. They're ready to hear your expertise. They're ready to hear about your product or your service. They're ready for you to change the world. And that's why I'm hosting a small, intimate 3-day event called The Big Pivot. Hey, my name's Ed Rush. I'm a former F-18 fighter pilot, 5-time #1 best-selling author. I've built my businesses using the principles I learned in the cockpit, speed and agility. And I want to show you how to adjust quickly to this new world that we're in right now so that you can sell more products, create more value in your services, share your story, and change the world. Because the truth is, if the entrepreneurs of the world, you and I, don't do it, no one will. We got to stop looking to Washington. We have to stop looking to world leaders. We have to stop looking to media giants. It's you and me who are going to solve this crisis and create a better world. Now, this event is happening in 2 mediums. It's going to be live. We are going to meet in Dallas over 3 days, and I already have almost capacity registration for this event. We're also going to meet virtually. If you're going to come live, don't you worry. We have every safety precaution taken care of you, including social distancing and sanitization of the room. If you're attending virtually, we got everything taken care of for you, including all the materials downloadable so that you can have them at an instant. Let me just encourage you to do just a few things. First of all, don't miss this event. I think you will look back on this event 5 years from now as the single greatest decision you made, because I'm going to show you in 7 modules, which you can read about below, how to rapidly pivot your business, how to rapidly transition your entrepreneurship so that you can make more money, have a bigger impact, and really dial in your lifestyle. While doing that, I'm going to show you how to do it in such a way that radically, fundamentally, and finally changes the world for good. The second thing I'm going to encourage you to do is just take a moment to read the page below. There's a lot more information that I'm sharing on this video. And in it, I share with you 2 propositions that are going to be fundamental to you changing the world. The first one is the 80-year exhale cycle that the world is going through right now.
All right, this video has another, here, I'm going to put it back. This video has another maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes left in it. But what I want you to do in chat right now is put into chat some of the key components in this video. There's at least 3. And what I'd really love for you to say is, what's the purpose of the video? There is actually one main purpose for this video. And in chat, write down what the purpose is, because I'm going to get into that here in the remaining minutes that we have.
Now, how you could predict it and how you can take advantage of it. The second one is a principle that I'm teaching now called the new powerful for you that I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. Option number 3 is where you need to be, which is, hey, I'm in. I'm in. I'm ready to change the world, man. I'm ready to share my message. I'm ready to see a group of people who follow me go off and change the world too. You're ready to catalyze a movement. You're ready to help more people in the world. And you're like, Ed, whatever it takes, I'm there. That option for you is below. So listen, enroll now. This is an event that's going to change your life, but more importantly, this is an event that's going to change the world. And I'm looking forward to seeing you there. So check out the page below, find out more information about what we're going to be talking about at this event. Choose your enrollment option, and I will see you in Dallas or online. We're going to have a blast. Together, we're going to change the world.
All right, there's the outro bumper. Let me share the screen real quick. I'm going to walk through the website, and then we're going to take this into the next show. Thanks, guys, for telling me, by the way. Thank you for your help on the audio. Little finger fire here. So no matter how many switches were on the F-18, still kind of mess it up every once in a while. All right, good to go. So first of all, thank you for the answers. Great stuff in chat. 2 main goals for the video. Bruce, you're right, by the way, creating certainty. Again, come to the webinar today. You'll see that. Gina nailed it. By the way, it is primarily designed to get people into the sales letter. I'm going to talk to you about a psychological thing in a second. Have people enroll, certainty and benefits. Yes, getting enrollments, very good. I said to everybody, good answers, and then all of a sudden, my audio went away. The conversation changed. Very good. Repeated enroll, exactly. All right. So first thing that I'm going to share the screen with you. 85% in a recent study, 85% of the people who responded to the study said that they watched, 85%, the study said that 85% of the people who were watching videos online were watching them with the captions on and the sound off, okay? So the very first thing you should know is this video here is designed to get people to see this and to roll into the rest of the video. Now you'll see this video starts on this page on mute with the captions on. The reason why is there are people who are gonna turn this on when they're sitting at work or at home and they shouldn't have the audio on, and you don't want them to quickly have to close your web page, okay? But you can see nice and prominent right here at the top is this ability for somebody to turn on this the audio on this video, okay? So let's go through this sales letter real quick. We're not going to get through all of it in 5 minutes, but I'm going to take you through some key components. This part right up here, right? Headline. 2020 crisis has created a massive opportunity that occurs only once every 80 years. Give me 3 days and I'll show you how to exploit it for more profit, more peace of mind, more freedom than ever before. You hit the video here, okay? And the next thing you see are essentially 2 sub-headlines. Remember I said that the first component of the sales letter is a headline. The second component is a sub-headline. And the idea of the sub-headline is to get people into the copy. Now, what I'm going to do quickly is I'm just going to scroll through this sales letter and I'm going to show you the components in here that also serve as sub-headlines. For example, see this one that says, now is the time to rapidly pivot and make that happen. That is a sub-headline. Here's the idea with these sub-headlines. Watch this. Somebody's going to do this. They're going to maybe watch a little bit of the video, read the headline, and then they're going to scroll. Now, there are two, in copywriting, there's something called a dual readership path. There are people who are like high fact finder engineer types who will literally read every single word. Those are the people who are like, hey Ed, this word's misspelled, okay? And there's some people that do that. There's other people like me who I'm like, whoop, 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 and just scroll through and bounce around and catch stuff. And when you watch data of people moving around websites, you'll see some people just move and bounce around to all different kinds of things, okay? For the bounce around people, this is what you want. I want to show you this, watch this. Okay, so say they're scrolling, whoa, what's that? The predictable crisis that took the world by surprise. Oh, interesting, I wonder what that is. And then they start reading. Did you see that? So the scrolling people, you want to grab them like, oh, wait, what's that? Give me 3 days and I'll show you a proven system. That's a subheadline, right? These are all subheads. Did you catch this? Yeah, Barry says, engineer me. Okay, here, come on, watch this. Ready? Oh, what's this? Those are subheads, okay? So my point here is what you're trying to do with this letter is you're trying to, and by the way, for those of you just joined us, the website that I'm using as an example is the event that I'm currently offering. I'm going to be talking about actually in like 15 minutes on our Zoom meeting. It's right below, which is Big Pivot event. So we got through the first two. On Monday, probably, we're going to do part 3 of this, and I'm going to walk through in greater detail the letter, including the guest speakers, including the benefit, including the bullets, including price and price justification, so that you can see how that all fleshes itself out in that. Let me just take you back to the very beginning. The first thing I told you is that you have a story, experience, product, or service that's going to change the world, and you have the responsibility, I believe, to get your marketing message out into the world. Because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, and they're not going to serve your market as well as you can. We went to the board, and I talked through the components of a great marketing message, and now we're in demo mode, and I'm going to show you more again on Monday about how we do it inside, how I did it inside of Big Pivot. Okay, so here's the deal. We're going to wrap up the show in about 2 minutes, and I'm just going to say goodbye on chat, and then I'm going to jump over to Zoom, get a sound check, and then jump in there. So if you're not registered, come on over to the Zoom show. It's edrush.com/pivot. By the way, if you're registered for Big Pivot already because you were an ultimate speaker, just watch the webinar. You don't even have to worry about it because I'm going to make an offer that you already have. Okay? If anybody's on the fence, though, you can always help them. You can always help them, be like, come on, come to the event. It's going to be awesome. Okay? So the webinar is below. So come join me there right now. If you're watching this on a replay, I don't usually do replays of Zoom meetings. I may do one on this one, and I'm not sure. Usually I don't. Usually I do the Zoom meeting. We do live Q&A, get your questions answered, talk about what's changed, and then boom, right into the next thing. But if you're watching this on video, ask my team. We may have something available for you, but no guarantees. All right? So I'm going to wrap up today's show. Make sure you come tomorrow. Ask me anything. Launch is 10 o'clock Pacific. I'll see you over here at the Zoom meeting in about 15 minutes. And don't forget, it's your job to go out and change the world. I'll talk to you soon.